There we are. There's our red live button. Hi, Libby.
Hi, Linda. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. It's kind of an overcast day in New Jersey, but
Yes,
I'm good. I'm happy. It's the middle of the week. I'm happy to be on here with you. We haven't done this in a long time. Not yet this year. This is our first for the new year, so it's a
yeah,
good day.
absolutely.
Yeah. So Libby and I are here. We want to talk about fear and anxiety and how that can become almost a default, or definitely a default for people. And there's several reasons why that is, but we thought we would kind of dive into this topic for a couple of reasons. Number one, there are a lot of things going on in the world that people have fear and anxiety about,
hmm
which probably is always the case, right? There's always things to find, but right now it feels like there's some more things. And
Yeah.
then the second thing is we wanted to create some interest because we are going to do a journey. Can you hear my dog?
A little bit, but that's okay. Don't worry.
I gave them peanut butter treats to keep them occupied. I think she's
Yes.
done. So, um, um, so we wanted to start a 40-day journey that matches up with Lent. You don't have to be Christian. You don't have to observe Lent, but you can use the opportunity to walk with us to give up fear and anxiety as an opportunity to give that up as opposed to giving up chocolate or wine or something else.
Yes. Yes. And it's just I think that it's really powerful to have moments in time where you can pause and reflect on things in a different way. And sometimes we just kind of need like some roadmaps to see where am I, where am I going, what am I doing? And so often we're going in so many different directions. I was telling Linda I'm a little under the weather today, and like I can like I can't multitask today. I can focus on one single thing, but trying to do a million different things uh, is kind of overwhelming my brain today. And I'm like, you know what? Even that is a gift because it forces me to slow down a little bit and really focus in on the one thing I'm doing at this moment. And I think holidays or moments on calendars or periods or seasons can also help us just take a moment to slow down and pause and reflect about, okay, is this how I need to be living? Is there anything I need to adjust? Is there anything I need to be doing differently? Am I focused on the right things? Because 24 hours is going to go by whether we are focused and intentional or whether we're just running around with our hair on fire. And so having some time to be able to say, okay, am I living in this constant state of fight or flight? Am I drifting toward that? Am I in a peaceful relationship with life most of the time? And if the answer is, that you're not in a place of a peaceful relationship with life most of the time, well, this can be a really good opportunity. There's nothing magical about, this particular uh, moment in time of pausing and reflecting, but it can be really powerful to just pause and ask the question.
Yeah. Yeah, and so speaking of asking questions, I invite everybody. I see that there are some people coming on, some people have hopped on, some people have hopped off. We've got more on. And this is streaming in 7 places, which I just am really blessed and happy to see. So I don't know where you're coming from, people who are listening. I would love it if you put in the comments, hey, hello, and where you're from. We can't see all of the comments right now. I can only see them from one place, but we will go back later and check, and it makes me happy to see that. But if you're listening now or you're listening to the replay later, I invite you to ask yourself, how much of my life do I live in fear and anxiety? Am I even aware that that's my default? Because I can tell you for me, when I was in fear and anxiety, oh, good, it's your dog now. Is that your
Yeah,
dog?
it's my turn. My furry
Okay.
executive had something to chime in. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Um, when I did live my life in a place of fear and anxiety, which I'm going to be honest with you, was really all of my life since I was a little girl. As a child, that became my default. But I wasn't even aware of it. If you would have said to me, "It's stress," I would have said, I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed about anything." That's probably how I would have said it, right?
Yeah.
But it just feels like normal. It just feels like, so the sensations in your body. Here's a couple of things. Oh, hi, Tom. So Tom just said hi. Um, a couple of things you can notice is just your body, the different sensations you might feel can tell you whether you're in rest and peace or you're in stress and anxiety. So do you feel a tightness a lot of the time? Do you feel like you're always rushed? Do you feel like you can't get things done? Does your body constantly move? Like if you're sitting, your leg is going, or you're twirling your hair, or you're sitting watching a movie and on your phone and answering emails, right? Like that, kind of what you said before, multitasking, which we just take for granted is how we do life. But it's the rest. And for my people who are fitness people, if you lift weights, you know that it's the resting part, excuse me, where you actually get stronger. It's not during the lifting of the weight. It's when you put the weight down and you give your body good nutrition and good hydration and rest, then your body gets stronger. If you don't do those other three things, then doing the weights is much less impactful. You do not get the results that you want. So it's the same thing in regular life when you can allow yourself to rest. So that's why Libby actually had this great idea of people give up for Lent a lot of things. Some people, just ask around. People give up chocolate. Oh, I'm going to give up something that I really like because then it'll be hard and then I'll be doing Lent the right way. So I'll give up chocolate or I'll give up alcohol or I'll give up dessert. And then they wait for that, like the day that Lent is over. Like, not everybody. Sometimes people are like, you know what, it's been a while and I think I'm good. But eventually it kind of creeps back in, perhaps. But we thought, how about really giving up living in an anxious, fearful pattern in your life? And how would that be different?
Yeah. And this really started for me quite a few years ago. I was dealing with really, really serious health condition, and I just felt disconnected from God, and I felt almost like I was kind of in that place, which I'm not, it's human nature, right? So I don't have to be like ashamed of it or anything, but I was kind of in this place like, okay, God, if I gave something up, like, could we make a deal here? Can I get better faster? Can we kind of get through this? Is there something more I can be doing? And I really prayed and meditated on it. And the sense I really got was that I needed to fast from fear. And that's what God most wanted me to give up for Lent. And that kind of blew my mind for a minute. I was like, wait, what about like chocolate or TV shows or something? Fear? Well, I'm not a fearful person. I'm a
Hmm.
fearful person. Why would that be the thing that comes to mind? And when I really dug into it, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try this. I'm not really sure how fearful I am. I think I'm pretty strong and courageous, and don't I don't at least look like a fearful person on the outside. And as I really started digging in, what I realized was I was a worrier,
Hmm.
and worry and fear, they're at least next door neighbors, if not more closely related. And what I realized was that worry is really just the meditation on the meditation on the negative what ifs, and not balancing it with the meditation on, well, what if something really awesome happens? What if something really great happens? And I was so fixated on the what ifs and trying, and being as ill as I was really fighting for my life. There were a lot of what ifs, just very practically, like what if I don't make it? What if what if I'm disabled the rest of my life? How am I, what's going to happen to my kids? What's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to our business? There was a lot going on. And so needing to stop that monkey mind of what if, fear was, because again, I did not view myself as a fearful person. But when I really paused and reflected, what I saw was there was just a lot of worry and anxiety. It wasn't just being prepared to deal with the things that were actually happening in my life. It was a lot deeper than that. It was really meditating on, wow, I don't think I'm going to make it. What if I don't make it? What's going to happen? And giving up that fear was transformative to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I
Oh, that's
I didn't
it.
right there. But what I thought of when you were saying that is that, in the Bible, it says 360 something times, I believe, fear not. In some way, shape, or form, it says that. And so there's a reason why that's emphasized, I believe, right?
Hmm. Absolutely.
Why would, of all the things to focus on, why would teachings in the Bible, and I think Jesus himself, and again, folks, if you're not Christian, it's totally fine. I'm really referring to a Christ consciousness, like a way of living that Christ taught. You don't have to be Christian and I think honestly, a lot of the main religions teach their version of exactly what I'm talking about. So I want to make it be powerful for anyone listening and something to chew on. So Jesus also said himself personally or throughout the Bible, fear not. And it's the fear that's going to stop you from having the life that you want. And to your point about health, I think the top things that make people afraid are health, money. Health and money probably are the two main ones, right? Someone in their life that's important to them or themselves has a health diagnosis, or they have something really big around money and what's available to them and what they need. So for me, for those of you who don't know me, which by the way, we didn't even introduce ourselves, we
We
know
just
each
jumped
other.
in. Hey.
So if you're new to either one of us, if you're new to me, my name is Linda Downey. I'm a transformational health and whole life coach. You're probably on my page somewhere that you're seeing this live, but I work with women to help them overcome stress, anxiety, and toxic patterns that show up. And I got into doing this as an expression of who I am in the world because of my own life and my own health, having autoimmune diagnoses back in my 20s. I'm now 61. I have not had symptoms I had multiple diagnoses for autoimmune conditions. And I don't really deal with that at all now, but it was the stress and the anxiety. So the other part about me that you may not know is I have a daughter who passed away in 2019. And she was born with a heart anomaly. We did not know. You go to the hospital to have a baby, and all of a sudden you're being rushed to New York. I live in New Jersey for an open heart surgery. And then one thing mapped onto another. Like, that was the best part of what happened with her medically, was an open heart surgery on the night she was born, if you can believe that. It got worse from there. And the first 5 years of her life, I lived like I was drowning. Like, I don't even know. I was like a walking zombie, and I lived like I was drowning, and I did not have the tools to deal with. Neither her father or I had the tools to deal with that, which impacted our marriage. So that's the other thing I would invite you to ask yourself is, if I really look at the level of fear and anxiety that I tend to be in, how is that impacting the rest of my life? Where is the impact of that showing up? Because for me, it showed up in my health. It showed up in my marriage, which did not survive. It showed up in a lot of places who I was socially. I sort of withdrew at the time. And I was consumed with what I needed to deal with in terms of logistics, but still. So I think all of us have had, or potentially could have had, some really significant things, or sometimes people are just focused on what's happening in the world. And that can be upsetting, but it can be a place where you live. for a long time. And there's a couple of reasons for that. And we don't want to go on too long today. We just wanted to get your interest, bring you back into our conversations. But the default can come in because of your nervous system. Your nervous system itself doesn't remember how to rest, doesn't remember how to get out of fight or flight and feel safe again. So your nervous system is at play. It also can be just the place that feels so familiar in your head and what you tell yourself you're supposed to be doing. So that's your default. So what I mean by that is really like we default into, I have to do more. Kind of like what you started with, Libby, that, my brain today isn't a multitask brain. It's a monotask brain. But our messaging in this culture is do more, accomplish more, have more awards, show up more, be harder, work harder, take on more. And that's actually, and I'm going to share with you that for women, that's actually even more detrimental because that's giving you dopamine hits. Okay, I've got my checklist. Okay, what am I going to do today? Okay, I got that done. I got that done. And men really thrive on dopamine. Their nervous system really thrives on dopamine. Men are the doers. Women, our nervous system thrives and regulates itself on oxytocin, which is the hormone for connection, for bonding, and for love. So yes, we need to still do things, but if you've made it your practice to do more, and then you wonder why things aren't working for you, or your body isn't recovering, or your nervous system can't feel safe, that's why.
I love all that. It's powerful. We could just stop right there, and lots of truth bombs in there. I think the other thing we just want to keep in mind too is, as you're going through this process, if you decide to, really tackle fear in this next period of time, we need to give you fair warning that it's going to feel uncomfortable. Because if this has been your normal, one of the biggest shocks I had was when I stopped worrying, I started getting worried about how I didn't feel worried. That's like a mind bender for you, right? But it's
Yes.
true. Like your brain is like, oh, something's wrong. I don't feel all jacked up. Like something's wrong. And
Yes.
and so even just getting a little uncomfortable with the discomfort of doing something different, that's really where the Lenten season kind of came in for me, because I realized, okay, this is a 40-day window. I can do this for a period of time. If I want to go back to worrying, as silly as it is, like if I could talk myself through it, like, okay, if I want to go back to worrying full time, I can do that. I'm just not doing it the next 40 days. And that gave my brain and my body enough time to recalibrate and retrain through the discomfort and say, oh, wait, well, maybe that's just not how I want to roll the rest of my life. Because I had advanced stage neurologic Lyme in my spine and brain, all my organs. I had like 8 different chronic autoimmune conditions. I've also been in remission for almost 10 years with all those. Our family was exposed to toxic mold. I mean, you name it, we experienced it. And one of the craziest things for me was I got through the treatment. I was declared in remission. I had all these amazing things happen physiologically that said, oh, you're cured, you're fine. Yet I still had a ton of symptoms. And what the missing link for me was that I had not dealt with the emotion and the nervous system part of things. And until I did that, I could not shake the symptoms that just hung on.
Yeah.
And fear was, fear, worry, anxiety was a huge part of that for me. And so a lot of times when we're dealing with serious health issues, chronic issues, money issues, marriage or relationship issues, we often are, kind of getting around, I remember my husband, he's a functional medicine doctor. He turned to me one day and he said, there's nothing more we can do for you. And that was terrifying and infuriating to me. He was like, there's some work inside that you have to do. And I was really mad at him about that because I just really wanted him to, prescribe me an herb or something. And when I had to realize that, oh, wait, maybe I have some trauma around all this medical stuff, or some medical anxiety, or, some things that maybe I haven't dealt with yet. I really did not want to dig under those covers. But once I did, that's where the freedom really happened for me.
Yeah.
Was once I dealt with the fear, because we are not just a body and just a brain and just a spirit. We don't live in separate containers, especially as women. We are holistic. We're all of it. So if one thing is off, everything is off. And so, I want to encourage our friends who are listening or watching, who maybe are dealing with a chronic illness, or a really scary diagnosis, like, intense Lyme disease, or, fill in the blank, whatever it is for you, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, thyroid issues, cancer. There is a missing link to total healing, and that is often facing the fears of what we've been through.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I don't know, that just hit me.
No, thank you for sharing that. And that was, actually very vulnerable. And I think it will make a difference for some people hearing that. So what we did, we created, I'm going to put in the comments right now, we're going to wrap it up. But we created a separate Facebook group for this journey. So when Lent starts, Libby, do you remember the exact dates? We did talk about it.
It's mid-February. Yep. I'll get the date. Hold on. Keep going. I don't have it written down right here. Monotasking.
So between now and whenever Lent starts, we're going to chat a little bit and hopefully fill the group with people who are like, you know what, I would like to give up fear and anxiety for Lent. Maybe there's other things you want to give up too, but if you want to walk through that with us, this is what it's going to look like. So let me just put the Facebook group. So it's a free thing. And once the journey starts, it's a free thing. We're not charging anything. It's just what we want to do ourselves and with people, because we know the power that it can have. And this is what we do.
February 17th is Mardi Gras. So Lent starts the next day, so February 18th.
Okay, so starting February 18th for the next 40 days after that, which is roughly about 5 to 6 weeks, right? If a month is 30 days. So we'll be in that group that I just shared the link, and we will be doing really specific exercises and coaching around fear and anxiety. So if you want to, these lives are going to be available everywhere, but the actual coaching and the exercises that are going to be driven towards or geared around moving out of fear and anxiety are only going to be found in the group. So when we get to that point, that's going to be in that group. And it's just a container to have so we can, get to know you and the people who are in there, and that you can ask specific questions. So what it'll look like once we're in that group is Zoom links. So we're actually talking with you, or actually, and they'll be recorded. So if you can't come live, but it'll be Zoom links in the group where we meet. So between now and February 18th, we'll be on here talking about this topic with other things, not just repeating the conversation that we had today, but we're going to really talk about some different reasons why you might want to consider taking on this journey. And then we'll see you in the group. And if you have any questions, wherever you're listening to this, please put them in so we can answer them for you.
Yes, love that.
Okay.
No, I think you covered all the bases, Linda. Way to go. And look, we're here this is just something we're doing to serve humanity. There is a lot of crazy going on in the world right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of people who just feel anxious. And, life carries on. There's a lot of things, people get diagnosed every day. People, face different challenges every single day. And there's not a lot in this world that is pointing you toward peace. And peace will not look exactly the way you might think it would, but it is very possible for you to have a consistently peaceful relationship with life. No matter what's going on in the world around you, no matter what's going on in the larger world, world or in your little microcosm world, you can have a consistently peaceful relationship with life. And we want to show
Mm,
you how to do that. And that's just our gift to you, because we need more people in this world who can operate at that place. It's going to make our
yes.
world a better place, and it's going to set you free from some things that have been holding you back, maybe your whole life. So it's pretty powerful, and I have watched people transform with Linda now for at least a couple of years now, and it is truly shocking and incredible how deep transformations can occur when you get to that point of being untriggerable and having a peaceful relationship with life. So if
Yeah.
that's something that's interesting to you, please sign up, join us, and let's get moving on this.
Yeah, 100%. So again, totally free. Going into the group, totally free. Doing the 40-day journey, totally free. Nothing. Okay. Join us. And here's my motivation. So in addition to what Libby said, and I'll probably say this every that we do, the reason why I work primarily with women, I love men, but I work primarily with women, A, because I am one, and I kind of understand more how a woman's body works. But I also feel like, and men, you can join the group too. You can be in this journey because humanity needs more peace, in our opinion. But I feel like how the woman goes will determine how everybody else around her goes. It's the woman in the household that sets the tone for the emotions. It's the woman in the household that is doing a lot of the nurturing support. Men nurture and support 1,000% in their way, but I feel like how she goes is how goes the people around her. So if we can get as many people to release fear and anxiety, that's a ripple effect that makes a difference. So we'll
Absolutely.
look again for our lives. I don't know when we'll do the next one, but you'll see it. And hopefully we'll see you in our group. Go ahead and join whenever you're ready.
And we can't wait to get to know you and meet you more. And if you have questions between now and then, or this really resonates with you, and you even want, I just want to throw this out here too, Linda, and you even want, some more deeper coaching or some more intensive help, or this is interesting to you, you can also message me or Linda, and we can get you in touch with some more formal programming that we do as well. So you can always feel free to reach out to us on that. But this is just a little gift for peace on earth for the world in this coming Lenten season. So hope you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Amen. Amen, sister. Okay. See you next time.
Bye-bye.